First thing you're going to want to do is you want to import our pack into your 404. It's going to be a project file, so you want to import that project to one of the project slots on your 404. Now what I recommend doing is simply taking the SD card out, putting it in your computer. Once you download the zip file from our site, you'll want to unpack it to your hard drive, then drag the project folder over to the SD card in the import folder on the SD card. Then eject that, bring it over to your 404, pop it in. Now, there is a software editor for the computer that you can get from the Rolling Cloud, and you can use that as well. Personally, I don't want my 404 tethered to my computers, my desktop computers or laptops right now, via USB-C cord. And if you are the same way, you'll probably just be swapping out the SD card back and forth. One of the reasons why I recommend doing it that way is because personally, I learned the 404 in and out in standalone mode. I didn't even touch the editor. I just put all my loops on the SD card and my samples, and I learned this thing standalone. That way I got to really learn it deeply. And when I went to the editor, I had a really solid understanding of all the features in the 404. Because you know what, there's some menu diving here and stuff that you might not get in the editor. So it's good to know, especially if you want to know this thing in and out when you're like on the road, you know, you don't have a computer. So you want to just have this thing portable, and you want to know it in and out. You want to know everything about it. So that's why I recommend doing it that way. Again, you can get the editor from the Rolling Cloud and import through that as well. Anyway, so once you have the folder, the project folder, dragged into the import folder on this card, pop it in. Now we're going to hit Shift Import. And it could take a while, but you're going to select Import from SD card. It might take a minute because it's reading the card, see? So if it's just the first time you pop that card in and fired it up, this will take a minute. So it's going to hang here on import from SD card for a little bit. In a second, you'll see it'll pop up. A new screen will pop up. It'll say samples, projects, etc. There we go. So let's go to project. Scroll down one to project. Hit enter. Now select a pad that you have available. Those pads they represent projects. You can have 16 projects right here. So what I'm going to do is select, I know I can put it in 8, so I'm going to put it in 8. Hit enter. This wasn't a blank project, so I'm going to overwrite it. And this takes a minute to load. It's loading a huge bank of sounds that I formatted for you guys. So it's going to take a minute. A lot of the loops are kind of long, and they're mostly loops in here. So we're done. So we're good to go. Next thing you want to do is select the project that you imported it into. So I know I put it in 8, so I'm going to go Shift Subpad 8. Now that's the active project. Okay, so now you'll see all your patterns. So in a nutshell, that's all 10 patterns that comes with it. But we've got a samples. So hit project again. And now you've got all your sample banks. All the loops and samples are here. On the bottom row, I put one-shot drum kits. And then I've got loops and sound effects up here. Oh, I put actually on this one, I put a bass cut up. So you have 4 notes, but you can also hit one of these and go chromatic. And now you've got okay, so you've got banks, different banks of different sounds. So how I organized them was each pattern has a set of sounds that are in that pattern. So I basically went bank for each pattern. I have a bank of samples. So with that said, they do all work together. I went in and pitched and tuned everything so that they're all in the key of A minor. And they're all set to time stretch. So whatever your project tempo is, they're going to all sync up